How's it going, everyone? Ani-mity back at it again with another video, and today we are continuing our rankathon with the Helluverse. Today we are moving on to discussing the songs from the Helluverse, which I thought did really well. So if you guys haven't watched my last ranking video, I go in depth talking about all the characters that I think really stand out, who I think really move the plot forward, or just are really interesting to get into and are really interesting to see on screen, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And now that I'm not tired, on a better recording software, on a better schedule, and overall things are just going better, I'm going to be covering the songs, which I think are the bigger drive for the songs are the bigger drive for me when it comes to talking about this show. I love this show to absolute pieces for the music, and I think that the songs in both shows are really good. Now, I've decided for this particular for Helluva Boss, for my rankings of the songs here, I'm going to split my rankings into two parts. So today I'm going to be covering all the songs from season one, which honestly, looking at the list I have here of all the songs, I thought there were way more songs in season one than there are. But apparently there aren't that many, which I mean is fair because unlike Hasman Hotel, where we had two songs every single episode, these ones are kind of a bit more sparingly thrown throughout, which I think goes to like the thing that the creators said they wanted to do for the show. They said they wanted to make the songs kind of flow a little bit more naturally into the world and to feel purposefully theatrical like Hasman Hotel did, which I think they succeeded to that degree. It's still a shame because I think the songs that they have in both seasons are very good. And I'll be going through my rankings for all of them here, well, all of them from season one here today. And then next week I will do my coverings of season two. When I have the chance to sit down and actually listen to all the music. Because what I did for this video, I sat down, I found a playlist that had all the songs from season one because I don't think the soundtrack is out yet. But I sat down and listened to all the songs from season one, listened to every single one that they had there, and then kind of like gave a general ranking based on how well I remember the song before going into it, how well I think the song moves the episode itself forward, and just how catchy it generally is. I think catchiness is the main thing that I ranked a lot of these songs on. It's just like, how often do I find myself bopping to certain songs? And spoiler alert, there are two songs back to back that I play on loop repeatedly because I think they're just so good. I think the energy that they bring is really good. So I'll get to those a little bit down the line. But yeah, so I just wanted to set that up. I don't believe there is a honorable mention for this one. I think I've covered I have every single song on the list. If I miss one, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely change that. Um, and yeah, we'll see how this ends up going. So sit back, relax, and let's get into my song ranking. So starting off, we have the IMP jingle, which I will say for the first song of any series, it's always going to hold the most weight because of that it's kind of like the introduction that we're getting into the series. It's our like what do we get the sense of the world? It's the thing that usually sets the pace. And usually I kind of put a little bit more emphasis on this. Sometimes I'm actually even biased toward how I think or feel about the first song because about it's just like, well, I like the series, so obviously the first song does really well. But listening to the IMP jingle on its own, kind of listening to it, I think like for the first song of the series, it does the job well. I think it's like it's a one-stop shop of everything that we kind of that we come to expect from the show overall. I think just like it's the kind of music style that I got used to with Helluva Boss. It's kind of the general like the lyrics, I guess, are what I expect from it. It's just a fun tune to kind of bop along to. I also just love the ending of it, just the suddenness that comes with it. I mean, like, the thing that's just all of Hell of a Boss is just kind of like you think it's gonna go one way, then dead stop, and then punchline for whatever the joke is for that episode. And I think just the punchline of the kids die for free is really funny, and I think again speaks very well to the overall feel of the Hell of a Boss series. So I think like for the first song that kind of introduces us to the entire series, and the first song that kind of gives us our taste and our flavoring of what to expect with things, it's an A rank. I think just it deserves that A rank because it's a very good song. It does what it's supposed to. It knows what it's trying to do. and doesn't try to do anything but that, which I think is really, really good. So, to the IMP jingle, I am giving you the A rank. Next for Oh Millie, which for people who've been longtime fans of the channel, or for those of you who just know me outside of what I do here on YouTube, you guys will know I'm a big sucker for a good love story, and I do think that the relationship between Millie and Moxie is very, very strong in the show. But I gotta say, for Oh Millie, the first song that we kind of get that introduces us to their relationship, I wasn't the hugest fan of it. I don't know why. Like, just listening to this song, I'm kind of like, I wasn't feeling, I guess, it as much as I thought I was going to watching it. Um, it's a decent song, I'll give it that. It's just I didn't really think much of it when I listened to it. I think, like, for what it's trying to do of just trying to get us to know the relationship between the two of them and get the sense, like, okay, yeah, these two are definitely very much in love with each other. It does its job in that front. As a song in and of itself, I just don't know. I don't know why it is I don't really like it all that much. It could just be because of the fact that I just am not the biggest fan of Moxie when he's singing. I don't know, like, Moxie's voice when he's speaking most of the time in the show is fine. When he's singing, most of the time, I'm not always on board with it. That's, nothing to the voice actor doing stuff for that kind of thing. Just, I don't know why. It just doesn't work for me, personally. I think overall the song, just like I said, it does its job. I don't like I said, I don't think I'd rank it necessarily the same tier as the IMP. It does its job. I just am not the biggest fan of it, so it goes right to B tier for me. Oh Millie, a decent song. I'll give it that. Next up, we have one of the first songs I think I just forgot existed in the show. Like, I think most of the songs that are on this list, I remembered the songs and I remembered, like, where they were in the episode and what was going on with the episodes and such. So I remembered, like, bopping to it as I remember. Because, like, that's the other issue is that I think a bad song can rank higher on this list if the episode itself is really, really good, because of the fact that I'll associate the song with the episode, and I can't really disassociate the two. And like, I guess this song I'd want to rank higher because of the fact that I think the first episode is good. Because again, it's that the official first episode. Because I think I forgot to mention the IMP jingle comes from the pilot. This song is actually in the first episode of Helluva Boss. And I think the song, like, it does a good job of, like, setting up kind of like the general tone and feel. It doesn't introduce any of the characters or anything like that is a staple in things, but, like, it sets up the plot of the episode well. But as a song in and of itself, and because of the fact that I just don't remember the weight this had on the actual episode whatsoever, like, I don't think this contributed really any information that we don't already receive from later on down the line of the show. Um, it just, like, the song didn't really grab me that much. I think the visuals are cute. I think the kinda, like, showing off the teacher before she ends up dying is cute and setting up the reason for all the animosity that exists, sure. But I think that really the dialogue kind of did that a bit better. Like, it's a decent setup song. I could give it that. It's a decent setup song for what's going on. It sets up the subversion of, like, okay, this is all like bright, shiny, happy children's song, and then shifting into the usual tones we expect with Helluva Boss. And then, like, again, it speaks to the general feel of the show. It's just not a song that I think I vibed with or meshed with all that well. So, into D rank, we have the teacher song, a song that I kind of forgot about until I went back and did this series. Oh, and finally, we move on to Peak. We have the first double song episode of the series, and of course, it's for Stolas, my favorite character. If you watched my ranking video, you know he's like my S tier character. He's a character that I love to absolute pieces. And this song that we started off with for Stolas is so, so good. I love You Will Be Okay. I think that the song is just really emotional. I think that it shows the nature of the relationship between Stolas and Octavius so well. I think it speaks to Stolas's character so well with, like, some lines of I used to think that I was bold. I used to think love was for fun. I think just it speaks a lot to his character and a lot of his regret and his the choices that Stolas have made and the regrets he's had up to this point. But it also highlights how, of all the choices Stolas has made and all the regrets that he has with his relationship with Stella, the one thing he doesn't regret is Octavia. And I think like the way that gets across is so strong, and I think like just the overall message of, no matter what happens, you will be okay, I think is really, really good in the song. I think like just the representation of the characters and the overall message that Stolas is trying to give to Octavia is really clear. It sets up their relationship really, really well, at least early on, and kind of by that token also makes the sudden change of them not really being as close all the more stark and sudden. And it also kind of makes the question of like, well, where is this coming from with Octavia? Because like it feels like Stolas definitely loves Octavia, but then we don't really, I guess we don't get to see how that devolved from that moment, because it seems like he was willing to do whatever for Octavia to make sure that she got to have a normal life, to make sure that she was happy, and that she got to be able to that she was that he was there as the father figure she needs. The only time we don't really see that is, I guess, when we have Seeing Stars, and we have that scene of him arguing with Stella. But like I guess like from this song and for the entire of the series, I've always known Stolas loves Octavia so much, and I know that he does whatever he has to for Octavia, and I think that's really strong in that. So the song is really, really good. I've done a cover of "You Will Be Okay." I love the song so much. Check that out in the comments. Check that out on my channel when you guys have the chance. I just love that song so much. Really, really good song. So this song goes to an immediate and easy A tier. Moving on to our second bop of the episode, we have Loo Loo Land.
Loo Loo Land? Loo Loo Land? Loo Loo Land! Shut the fuck up!
Which I think is just such a fun song. That it's Alex Brightman doing it, I think is just inherently it's a great song. Like I liked a lot of his songs in Hazbin Hotel. I thought like they were all very like deep, very emotional. This one isn't anything like that, but it's still like just his voice and the presence that he brings to whatever song or whatever scene that he's in is always great. And that this is our first introduction to Fizz, technically, I think is really, really cool. And I think again, just this is a fun song to kind of like bop along to. It's like equal parts creepy, shady, and then also kind of just fun as a circus or as a carnival should be. So it speaks to kind of all the things that are like, oh, it's a fun, happy place for kids, which is kind of what Stolas was setting this up to be as like, oh, I used to take Octavia here all the time when she was young. I don't understand what's wrong with it now. And we see like kind of we can very quickly see what's wrong with it with lines like "No copyright infringement ever seen." I can't do Alex Brightman, I'm sorry. But just overall, like I said, just a really, really fun song that I was very happy to like bop along to listen to this. It's criminally short. I think that the song could have like a couple more verses here and there, and I'd love the song so much. But it does its job. It sets things up for the show, and it's an overall good bop. So into A tier it goes. Oh boy, our first Verosika song. Yeah, this is definitely a song of all time. I'm gonna say, oh boy, what I have to say about this song. So I'll say this. In general, I think that Christina V is a very good singer. I like all her music in Helluva Boss, and I say specifically in Helluva Boss 'cause I don't think I've actually listened to music of hers outside of the series. I know of her work, I know of stuff that she's done. I just haven't had the chance to really sit down and listen to a lot of her stuff. Maybe after this video I will. Not likely, but I can dream, can't I? But yeah, so I think that she's in general a very good singer. I think that the stuff that she does for Helluva Boss is really, really good. I think that this song in general fulfills the promise of making the songs flow naturally into things. It's a song that kind of feels like, yeah, I could see this fitting into the setting. I could see this fitting into where we're going with stuff. That she's an actual performer and such, it all makes sense for why this is happening. It's a horny song for a horny world that we're into. And for all that alone, and on top of that, for kind of being such a wonderful showcase of Verosika's character, I think that it very wonderfully shows who Verosika is to us as the audience. For that alone, it deserves an A. part of me wants to rank this a little bit lower just because of the fact that I know other stuff that she does for the show, like Over You, the song that she does for Sinsmith, and like others, like just there are other songs and other, I guess, performances that she gives throughout the show that I like more than this song. I think that she's, again, a great singer. I think the song is great. And, like, I guess when I was doing this ranking when I was ranking my stuff originally, I was gonna put this a little bit lower, but then I kind of listened to it again, I'm like, "Actually, yeah, no, I like this song, I can get along with this song." It's, again, the only reason I might rank this a little bit lower is just because of the fact that it's not my favorite of her songs. It's like, it's one of those, like, they're all number 1s, but this one I just like slightly less than the other ones compared to, like, where I like all of them. It's a very good song, just not my favorite of her music, so I'm putting it down to B. Really, really good song again, just not my favorite of the stuff that I know Christina V does. Unfortunately, a lot of her songs that I really, really like are in season 2, but she does have, I think, one more song within the season 1, rankings or the season 1 listings that I really, really enjoy. So, looking forward to talking about that when we get there. Next up, we have the Cherub jingle. And I will say, for as much as I don't like the cherubs, as much as I think that they're just generally annoying characters and generally characters I just don't really like seeing on screen all that much, their jingle is pretty catchy. I'll give it that. It's not as catchy as the IMP jingle, but I do think like the fact that this is like the anti IMP jingle, it's supposed to be like the opposite. It kind of shows that relatively well. I think the song also just it's funny because of the fact that it kind of set the seeds ahead of time that these guys are not very good at their job, and we kind of got the sense of like these guys are not like all that in a bag of chips. It's like we got the sense of these characters really we got the sense of these characters early on before they even officially showed up on screen, where we got to hear them actually talk and such. We got a sense of these characters. The song itself is just okay. It's a decent bop. I again don't think the song like does a lot for the characters or that kind of thing. It's decent in setting them up and kind of sets up a lot of stuff for what's going to happen in the episode. So for that, it's going to be going up to B tier. Weird song to end up in this tier, but at the same time, it's just like it does its job adequately enough, and I think like it's enough of a kind of I can groove to this song, and I like the little choir at the end, like the and let us heal a soul for you. I just think like the way that flows and the way that sounds at the end is really really good. So B tier it goes. Way to go, guys! First win you guys probably have on any rankings I intend to do for this series. So let's go. Moving up next, we have Bad Trip, which this is another weird song for me to rank because of the fact that if I'm going off of just what the song says about Blitz and his mentality, I think the song is an A tier. I think the song does so much for explaining some stuff that's going on behind the scenes for both of Moxie and for Blitz. More so for Blitz, I think that's something I found more interesting. It was neat to see like how Moxie views his relationship with Blitz. I think that a lot of things going on with the visuals, a lot of happening within the song, I think are really really good. um, Mostly, again, it's the Blitz stuff that I came for. Blitz is the character that I generally find interesting more between the two of them. So for that alone, I think would get an A tier. But looking at it as a song itself, I don't really like it all that much. I think just because most of the song feels more like it's just the characters talking to each other more than it is like actual song, and that can work. 'Cause, I mean, we see in like things like Hamilton, you can have like someone talking in a sort of like rhythm and such, and make that work with a backdrop of music, and that makes a song. So like, it's not that that can't work or that doesn't make it a song. I just think that for this, it doesn't really work for me at least. Um, it's just like it's the again, the thing I like the most about this is what it's telling us about the characters. So I think like for that alone it works really, really well. Just as a song, it doesn't really work all that well. So like it's not a bop, but it's a song that I think does its job really, really well. So it's kind of like in that really weird middle ground. So because of that, I end up putting it in C. I can be swayed to maybe move this up a little bit higher just because of the fact that I do think the song does some stuff really, really well. It's just not a song that I think like works as a song in general. The episode itself is really, really good. Truth Seekers, again, while I don't like the agents, I do like this episode for what it does for a lot of the characters that we know and love from Hell. I love Stolas' scene at the end of that. But I guess this is an episode ranking. The episode ranking is going to be a different video that I do another time. But yeah, as far as the song goes, not a great song, but a good showcase of the characters and a good showcasing of the mentalities for Eliza Gears. Like, for what it does for the story, good song, gets a C tier. Alright, almost with this list, we got some bops coming up ahead, but first we have our, spoiler alert, only F tier of the entire ranking list for all the songs, and for the F tier, I have chosen to go with Striker's song. Doesn't even have a title that I really can call it by to just swear this out, but just this song, ugh, I really don't like this song. I think it's a song that exists just for Stryker to flex on Moxie, and just for that alone, I don't really like it. And on top of that, like it feels kind of out of character for Stryker. Like, I don't know why. Like, the Stryker shows that he's like the toughest, he's the meanest, he's got all these other skills and that kind of thing, and he's supposed to be like this like really macho character and such. And for him to suddenly break out into this song that's a little bit softer, a little bit more mellow, it feels again like he's doing this just to flex on Moxie. And I guess like that is very much in character for Stryker. Given that I also didn't like Stryker very much as a character, it just has so much working against it for me personally. As a song, I think like it kind of just feels unnecessary. We could have gotten this in a number of other ways. We could have gotten like some other revelations of like, oh, here are other skills that we know Moxie possesses that Stryker just so happens also to be decent at. Or could have just given him the singing and then have Stryker make fun of him for that or something like that. I don't know. I think there are other ways they could have used Stryker to kind of get this message across, and this song wasn't the way to do it. And just overall, like I said, it's not a song that I think I necessarily liked beyond that. It's just like the song itself just feels a little bit too mellow for what I'd be expecting from a character like Stryker. So into F tier, like the rest of this character who I just absolutely cannot stand. Moving on back to peak, we have the House of Asmodeus, which is one of this is a song I think I listen to the most frequently. Even before doing this video, I listened to so many covers of this song. I listened to so many nightcores of this song. I've listened to so many just remixes and all kinds of things for the song because I think that the song is really, really good. And I'm talking just purely as like the music itself, and for all the parts of it. I mean, like we have so many different like verses to the song which have so much different energies that they bring to it. I mean, you have the Millie Moxie sections, which are a little bit more soft and flowing. You have the gruffer sections of Asmodeus and Fizz. You have the more like popping sections with Ferocica. There's like so many different trips that we take throughout this song that I think are all collectively really, really good. So for that alone, again, the song already has a lot going for it. But what about for the story? What does the song do for us for the story? I mean, it starts off as another showcasing of Millie Moxie's love, which, okay, we kind of already knew that, but it's a decent way of setting us up. And then we instantly get into an introduction for Osmodius and Fizz and kind of we get a sense of them as characters, we get a sense of their values, we get a sense of, I guess, this is our first introduction into the sins in general and just, I guess, how seriously they take that. And we get that on full display with how Osmodius presents himself, with how he presents a lot of his lyrics, just again, the values of the things like the Aussies ain't the place of sentimental sound, and just the way in which we get to see Osmodius and kind of what lust means versus a more sentimental love for what we get from Moxie and Millie. I think that the song does really well in introducing those characters, and as always, for what it highlights for my favorite characters for Blitz and for Stolas, I think like the way it highlights again, like with You'll Be Okay, it highlights Stolas's choices and it highlights kind of the regrets of his life and such, and kind of like making him second guess almost his relationship with Blitz. And like the way that pushes into his character, kind of like the depression that Stolas has, I think works it's sad, and I don't really like it, especially because when we get to season 2 and we get a lot more of Stolas' character, and we kind of get to see, I guess, like, not that it's not his fault, but we get, like, some revelations of his character. This feels like a much more mean-spirited push, which I don't necessarily like in a song. I liked it better when it's kind of like, okay, we're poking at Stolas because of the fact that he's kind of like the more pompous, more like proud character, and kind of this is our chance getting to see him at like a lower-ish rung. This episode was a big low for Stolas, but then also was another great development for his character. So I think for that it does really well, but then also for Blitz, which we don't really get to see. We get to see some of the development the song has on him beyond like we get Veronica swearing him out and kind of showing how much she really hates Blitz, but then also how much Fizz hates. Like we get a sense of how much characters hate Blitz in general from the song, which kind of makes the scene at the end of this episode where he's where he's crying, where you see like he's lost someone. It makes that scene hit so much harder because it's kind of like you get the sense he's not a bad guy, just bad things have happened to him, and it kind of demonizes Fizz and Veronica in that way. And we don't really get the sense of, I guess, why they have this deep vitriol for Blitz at this point in the series, at least. Um, but just like it makes the that whole development there is really strong. We don't really get the sense of that full. We don't get the full sense of that till season 2. But I think for what that sets up, it's really really good. Um, Again, it's just mostly the way in which it drags these characters into their darkest, this low pit for all of them, and really gets their characters to shine through. I think is really really strong. And again, the song is just really really good. So House of Asmodeus, an easy A tier for them. You sold your life for a thrust. If you guys want to hear me do a cover of House of Asmodeus at some point, let me know. I think it's just a really good song. What is there really for me to say about Cotton Candy? I mean, do you guys expect me to put this anywhere other than A tier? Do you expect me to say anything other than this is a really good song? I mean, even if you've never seen Helluva Boss, even if you've never heard of of Cotton Candy, if you've never heard of anything going into this with the song, you know from watching my other video how much I love B as a character. I think that she's a great character. I think the Sins in general get a lot of development through their music and through the songs that they have. And they're always really fun to get into. And with Cotton Candy, it's no exception. This is an instant A tier. It's again, it's a fun song that kind of shows a lot of who B is. It shows a lot of what gluttony looks like for her as the sin of it. On top of that, the visuals for the song, like with House of Asmodeus, are just really, really fun. I think like it's another really poppin' song. It's a song that has a lot to look at. It gives us a lot of the character of B, and just in general, it's a really good feel song. So not much for me to really say to it. I think the song speaks for itself as to why it deserves this rank. If you ever pull up the song, listen to it yourself. It's really, really good. Cotton Candy, instant A tier. And now onto our last song of the ranking video. Now, for those of you who know Helluva Boss, you guys might be thinking either A, you missed a song, or B, what other songs are there? You've covered all of them. So that's what I thought when I got to Cotton Candy. I was like, okay, I've decided what I wanted to say for Cotton Candy. I've decided where I'm ranking it. I'm done. I can wrap this up. I can go home for the day. We're done with this video. I'm done ranking these songs. Then I was looking back through the listings that I saw on websites like the Helluva Boss Wikia, on the Genius.com link for the season 1 soundtrack. I looked up a bunch of different stuff to see, like, did I really cover every single song? Are there any songs I was going to put in the honorable mentions of just, it's a song that exists, I didn't really care to talk about it? And there was one song that was on here, and I was like, okay, I could just throw this onto an honorable mention and call it a day. But I decided that I was going to give it a listen just because on the off chance it's a decent song or it's a good song, I at least owed it to be able to give it a shot, see how it went. Probably going to end up either in the F tier or it's going to deserve something else because I just couldn't remember the song. And like reading through the lyrics, I'm like, I don't even remember where the song was in the episode. So I played the song and I'm listening to it and I'm like, okay, but actually this song is really good. Like I think like the song, it's like the song. I can't believe I'm saying Mustard Dong. I thought the song was gonna be, like, mediocre at best when we're having, like, Blitz singing this badly as it's described in the Wikia, I thought the song wasn't gonna do all that well. I didn't think that I was gonna like the song all that much. It just because of the fact that I forgot the song existed and the song ended up being really good, and I'm like, how did I forget this song? I'm giving it the A tier on that alone. It might not do a whole lot for the episode. I think it does some stuff, I guess, for showing Blitz can't sing. And then also, I guess, just is a nice contrast to what we had going on the Vraska episode when that was happening. Like it's more build up for what was going on with Vraska and Blitz in that episode and kind of showing them more as rivals and again showing Vraska as this much higher peak, which sets up the downfall, I guess, that she has in that episode really well. Honestly, I don't even remember where the song is. I think the song is just really, really good. And for that alone, it's getting an A tier. Fight me. I forgot the song existed and ended up being really good. I feel bad. It gets the A tier for that alone. But with that all being said, that is all the songs in season 1 of Helluva Boss. Like I said, not that many songs. I thought there would be more songs in this series because of the fact that it's one of the Vivsy Pop creations. I thought there would have been a lot more in this, but I guess not. Most of the songs I think I really, really enjoy are all in season 2. I'm trying to think. I think actually most of the songs that I can think of off the top of my head are also Fizz songs, which also probably pushes toward why I really, really ended up liking them. But yeah, all that's gonna have to wait for my season 2 reactions. I'm not gonna be doing an S tier or all the other rankings that I did in my last video for this one, just because it feels incomplete. Because when I did the character rankings, I did that for characters introduced from season 1 to season 2. Um, so I had like the full experience of that. This feels like I'm only doing part of it. So because of that, it doesn't feel right for me to do a full ranking of all the characters or all the stuff that exists within or for all of season 1. It doesn't feel right for me to do that here. If I was going to give it to any song, it probably would be House of Asmodeus or You Will Be Okay. I don't really know. I haven't really formulated how I feel enough to decide definitively which one I would give it to. But like I said, it just doesn't feel fair for me to do that because of the fact that with Helluva Boss, we have more to the characters. We have like a more full perspective, and with these songs, like in the bubble of this alone, they're really really good. But then also, I kind of want to compare them to the songs that we get in season 2, which I do think the quality does bump up. But some of these songs I think do stand really really well stacked against some other songs that are there. Particularly one song that I'm looking at on this list, I know ranks rather poorly compared to another song that's about the same character, but just is done a lot more tastefully. I think fits a lot better to what they represent and such. But you guys will have to wait until I do that video then. But yeah, it's been really fun to do. Always fun to get to listen to these songs again. And yeah, just I love being able to do these kind of deeper dives into how I think and feel about these songs and just what it is I feel about how well they do. So if you guys disagree with me on any of these, of course, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on my rankings, on how I feel about these songs. If you think that I should reconsider any of these songs, like I think, what was the song that I said that I would reconsider? Um, was it like Vacant Botan or sorry, Bad Trip? That's what it was. If you guys think I should re-rank Bad Trip for any reasons as a song, let me know in the comments down below. I may be willing to bump it up to B. I don't know if it deserves A because I don't think it does a lot, but again, it's just the song itself just doesn't catch me, and for that, it just feels like it should be a little bit lower because like it does a lot like the songs in B do. It just doesn't feel like it kind of meets that same quality. I guess is the way I look at that. But if you guys think I should change that, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this one. Uh, Catch you guys in the next one. Look forward to season 2 ranking coming soon. Peace.